Hello and welcome back to Stick to Fitness, brought to you by my co-host Archie and myself, Hymsuen. And for today's topic of discussion, we'll be answering the question, how low is too low? And we're not talking about the state of men's trousers, we are talking about calories. So first off, we need to put in some context to this because too low is going to be different for different things. Are we talking about too low for health or too low for fat loss? Because personally, I don't think there is a too low for fat loss. So what do you think, Archie? What would you consider as too low, I guess? Too low calories for dieting, too low for fat loss. What do you think?
Oh yeah, for dieting,
For fat loss.
For fat loss, there is no too low because you got to go as low as you have to
To get skinless.
inside out, peeled.
Shredded
Death is too low.
Death is too low.
If you die, you went
whoops.
too low. Yeah.
It's
Restart.
Too late.
Quick
Too
refeed.
low. Yeah.
So I think if you're competing, bodybuilding, there's no such thing as too low because you got to do.
What about losing muscle? Too low?
Yeah, but you got to have there's a trade off, isn't it? If you're trying to get like peeled, you're gonna have to sacrifice something, right? If you can't get that fat off without dropping your calories even lower and still doing more output,
I think people who they're shredded, they're not asking that question.
no,
They don't even fucking consider it. They don't go, "Oh, is this too low of calories?"
no, you just
That's for people who are just overweight and they're not.
Yeah.
They're not there yet. They're not
different mindset though, isn't it?
different, isn't it?
It's a
I think
completely
when
different
people
ballgame.
are like trying to get shredded, like legitimately inside out, they don't think is this too low.
No, it's like
They think, is this low enough?
No, it's too high.
Yeah.
You always get that stage when you're dieting, you're like, oh, my food's too high. It needs to be low. It's not quick enough.
Why am I not dying?
Yeah, literally. So yeah, I think for when you're doing things like that, I don't think there is such a thing kind of as too low because you got to go as low as you have to get the fat off, isn't it? So
Definitely.
even if that means sacrificing some tissue, which is always a shame, and that's why timeline's obviously always important, but you're gonna have to give something, I think, for that.
Do you think, because, okay, so for health side of things, do you think there's obviously a too low? Because the NHS average guideline that we have here for the calories is men should be eating 2,500 calories, right? This is the average. Obviously, you eat that in one meal.
For breakfast.
Yeah. And then women's is 2,000 calories. This is the average guideline. I don't know what this is for. Like, I'm assuming this is just for maintenance calories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think-
Well, average.
What's this is maintenance, like keeping yourself.
I think this is just average. I think average. Anything average is go from day to day, and I think that off the top of my head, I think for a male is between 80 to 85 kilos is an average male.
Yeah. I'm to that. Oh no, I'm average now.
You're average,
Yeah, I'm 86, 88, something like that.
and you eat less. You eat less than the women.
Nah, I'm eating 2,000 calories at least a day.
And I don't know. I can't remember what the women's weight thing is. I think that's obviously very generic, and it is going to differ because you could be an 85.
But do you think that's the thing? I don't know where these averages come from
No, I don't know
because there is a lot of people outside of the average. So we're talking about, let's say we're looking at it in terms of a bell curve, right? They're assuming everybody is here in terms of the scatter graph, like at the top. This is the average. There's so many people that are like, and I think the people that we're dealing with in terms of coaching, they're all these people.
Yeah.
That on the extremes, they're either one or the other, and they're not the average.
But the middleman always gets forgotten about.
They always do. Well, they're the ones that everyone always assumes, everyone's around here. But no, man, most people are, for women, they're usually under.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be taking in that many calories. And then for the guys who maybe like a lot skinnier, they should be eating way more. Right?
Way more, yeah, exactly.
It's very
I think
interesting.
people do live by that, though. There's a real thing around that average calories, though. Do you not think a lot of
Mate,
people...
it's on everything that we eat. and
Because
drink.
it's in your face. So I think people do, like, adhere to it to a degree where it's like...
I should be having
yeah.
this because it
I
says
can
on
justify it,
average.
yeah.
The NHS tells me it must be right.
Yeah, I'm severely overweight. I'm 100 kilos and I'm 5'5", but
I need to eat.
I need to eat my 2,500 calories a day.
That's mad.
But I think people do really like kind of buy into that because it's just what's put, like I said, it's what's put in your face, isn't it? From every label, every packet on TV, it's just always in your face. Average is 2.5 for a man, and for a female
It's
is
very interesting. And then
2,000.
for some, I don't know where this has come from as well, but the thresholds of dieting is when I was, I guess, learning and what I see on the grapevine, who you want to call it. The myth is that women, the lowest that they should be on is 1,200 calories, and the lowest for men should be about 1,600 calories, right? I think that's what I see and that's what I hear a lot of. But why is it 1,200? Where the fuck has that come from?
I don't know. I don't know where that number comes from.
So 1,200 is okay, but then 1,199.
Yeah.
that point is like it's not.
Yeah. It's no good.
It's weird, right? Like I don't know who's made that up, or
someone who got paid a lot of money probably.
But then why is everyone? It's like Chinese whispers, but like for me personally, I would just call that whispers, right? But why is it? Why 1,200? Where has that kind of come from?
I think it always comes from is average, right? So if you're gonna, what do they say? So if you want to lose weight, find out what your maintenance is and subtract 500. Is that not kind of what they are kind of doing? You know, have they looked at what most females can not survive on, but if they did like a study and what most people found they could do without like feeling too rough was 1,200. I don't know. Yeah.
But then also there's no context to say, okay, you shouldn't be under that. How long for?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Because I'm sure there's days where I've been ill and I've had less than 1,200k. Yeah. I'm still alive now today.
But if it's like, what was the male one? 1,600?
1,600, yeah. That was always told. Like,
but I think a lot of people would struggle to do that for a long period of time.
That's my lowest, to be fair. Like, if I'm looking at in terms of dieting, when I get down to 1,600, I know shit's getting sticky, man. Yeah. It's hard, man. You know what I mean?
But you've also, like I said, we've been doing it for a long time. If you did 1,600 for like a month or two, don't know, maybe you'd be more comfortable. Where you've been in that, you've gone from, like, say you go from 3,000 to 2,000, then you go down again.
Yeah. I think it depends on your leanness as well. So if you've just been overweight for time,
yeah,
and you've been well fed and you don't feel hungry, 1,600,
yeah,
you can do that. You know what I mean? But when you've been dieting and your body fat drops and drops and drops, that 1,600 becomes.
It just doesn't take anything into consideration, does it?
It's just
nothing like how much steps you do. If you're on 85 kilo male and you have a very active job, but then you're also training 3 times a week or playing like 5-a-side, doing whatever, and then you're eating your 2,500 calories, you're gonna end up like losing loads of weight, aren't you?
Maybe you need to be higher.
Yeah, you might need to be like, you know, some people with them fast metabolisms might need to be. You're talking like plus 3,500 calories because of how much they're doing. It doesn't take into consideration.
Yeah, or the opposite.
And is that just from food? What if you drink 2,000 calories? Because people don't count. I think a lot of people don't count calories from either drink or condiments.
Or
that's just like free. That's a free for all.
Yeah,
that's like as many as you want. But if you actually sat down and like that amount of mayonnaise and ketchup that you've had on that one meal was added like 200 to 250.
That's the thing with even you go to we'll go to Chipotle, right, down the road. Shout out Chipotle.
Yeah.
But they got calories on their menu, right? But that does not include the other stuff that you want to put in it.
Yeah.
If you start chucking in, you know, that meal that they put on as a baseline to eat it this way is this many calories. You start going extra chicken, extra sauce. Yes. You when you finish, you come out, you're like,
guac.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Tabasco, Chipotle.
Your calories are going up, man.
Yes.
Given the sauces that they actually put out, like Tabasco is not too bad.
Yes, yeah.
Right? But a lot of places, they give you, like McDonald's, right? They tell you chips is whatever many calories, right? Man, you ain't eating those chips dry, bruv.
No, if you're having 3 things of that barbecue sauce, all of a sudden that's another 150. That's then you're adding whatever.
People not looking at that.
That gets overlooked massively. Then you're having it with a Fanta or like whatever. That's another 100 odd calories. Like, it's crazy. But people don't look at what they're consuming in liquid format or the condiment thing. So if you're having 2,500 calories worth of food, then you're adding in a day 1,000 odd calories through just basically just sugar, isn't it? Really, it's not. If you're drinking your calories, it's going to be sugar.
I don't even know how many calories in this. What do you think is in this?
I don't know what.
That's not too bad, actually.
No, what, like 100?
6.6 calories.
Oh, 6.6. That's like 0, isn't it?
I mean, it's not 0. 6.6.
It's like 0. Look, you want to burn 6 calories, let's just go like this. Done. So, yeah, I think that's all that doesn't come into play. And a good conversation with someone at work about sauces and things like that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Because we was in lockdown.
Okay.
And we had to like stay in like a bubble.
Right.
So when we was in like different year groups and stuff, and she was in our team, like the year group team, and obviously we'd eat together, lunchtime, break time, whatever. She must, I think, she was consuming plus 500 calories at at break time and lunchtime just in mayonnaise.
Oh, it's a mayo monster.
But it's always that thing. It's like, oh, what are you having? Pasta salad.
Yeah.
It's not a salad.
No, it's not.
It's hella pasta
It's mayo. with
covered
pasta.
in mayonnaise, or like potato salad.
Yeah, that's just mayo, isn't it?
It's just mayonnaise. No, but it's the same thing.
It's mayo salad with a bit of potato.
I'm having chicken salad and I'm going to cover it in coleslaw. 400 calories worth of coleslaw. The whole tub of coleslaw.
Well, they track it as carrots, cabbage. No, it's coleslaw. It's got mayonnaise.
Yeah, but it's just all like that. And I was, like you're looking at someone or you're talking, and there's a good friend of mine, and it's like,
Tastes good though.
of course it tastes better. Of course it tastes better. But it's gone from you. I see your intention, and I see what you're trying to do, but you've then just plump the whole thing of coleslaw, or like not even lighter than light mayonnaise, bro. The
Heavier
yellow,
than heavier.
the full yellow mayonnaise, like, and it's just, or the worst one for me. And this is where people go wrong. I'm telling you, sweet chili sauce,
Mate, that is.
You might as well just sprinkle sugar on it. Like, and I'm bad for that. I know I'm bad for that. When I'm dieting, I won't touch it.
Yeah.
But like, I will have half in one sitting. If I'm having like a rice-based dish, I'm having half of that. It's like 45 grams of sugar in half of the tub.
Even the light is pretty heavy.
Yeah, but the light one's not the same. I don't like the light one.
No.
But you're right though. It's still a lot. It's still like
heavy, isn't it?
20 to 30 carb. Like, it's mad. Yeah. And then people are doing that with their children as well, because it's always this argument of like, oh, they're having those innocent smoothies or whatever.
They ain't innocent, bro.
They're not innocent. They need to go to jail. They're guilty. Like, everything. They're not innocent. They committed whatever crime it is that they're on trial for. Yeah, because that is like 40. That's 45 grams of sugar, and only like 20 is actually coming from fruit. Yeah, they're adding all that stuff in. So you might as well have a can of Coke.
But that's why it tastes good, right? If you make your own smoothie like that, it ain't sweet.
No,
sweet like that, bro.
No, but that's a killer though, isn't it? But that's why all these people are like, oh no, they're not having that. It's too much sugar in it. It's like, have you looked at what you're literally giving your child?
It's the same.
Even like with the same with like you get like those things like the kids can eat, like the kids' meals or whatever. It's full of sugar, and I'm not anti-sugar.
Or those was it that people had for lunch when I was in school? Those dairy Lunchables.
Yeah, things like that. But like you got like these young kids and they're eating these homemade meals or like bird's eye, like fish fingers, dippers or whatever. It's full of sugar because it has to taste nice. Because otherwise it tastes like shit.
But you'll find out as a parent. I think it's one of those positions where you're just like, I just need this kid to eat now.
100%. And I'm not anti it.
Yeah.
I'm not anti sugar. I'm anti people saying what I'm doing
replacing it for something better.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like,
anti
when
saying
it's just as much.
Oh yeah, I'm being healthy.
Yeah.
You're not. Yeah. It's not healthy. But and I hear what you're saying about you sometimes it's just get something in them, eat, do whatever. I get that. Yeah. But at the same time, you can't then turn around and say, oh, they eat really well. They eat shit. They don't eat well. But don't lie. Because every kid's doing it. Yeah. To an extent. Because there are some that don't.
Mate, I don't even know what I'm going to do with my kid. If she's like that, that's hard work, man.
What do you mean? Like fussy?
Yeah, because then I think all kids are fussy, right? So then you're going to have to sit them down and be like, look,
do you think that's like a learnt thing, though? If you all sit down to eat together,
maybe.
You don't know any different.
I don't know if I was fussy. I'd have to ask my mum to figure that out. But we definitely had growing up, we ate a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, but I
still do.
Yeah, but you don't think if you're fussy, it's because you've been allowed to be fussy?
Maybe, yeah.
If you're told...
You don't have the time to... The parent doesn't have the time to sit down and be like, yeah. My mum was like, savage, man, straight Chinese gangster. Yeah. She's just like, well, you don't want it? Fuck it.
I didn't have a choice what I was eating.
Yeah, don't
Mum said, Mum, what we have for dinner? We're having this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my mum would sit there until I eat it all.
Yeah, but we'd all like eat together or do kind of whatever. And there was no like, no, I don't want that, I want something else.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, who's going to cook it? I ain't cooking it.
But I think a lot of people, they give in, right? So they're just like, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, but would you give in?
Nah,
would you give in?
I don't think.
I don't think
my wife will give in.
No, okay. Well, there you go then. So it's not even a you problem.
Yeah. You know how that's the softer, right?
Yeah, you want to be the soft one. But I think about with my son. Listen, if you don't eat it, that's fine. But you're gonna get hungry, and then guess what? You're gonna come back and eat it.
Yeah. It's like
we're not in. No, we're not in a restaurant.
Yeah.
When we go to the restaurant, then you can pick what you want. When we're at home, you eat what we're eating.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not making you nothing special.
Exactly.
Even if you're allergic, man. Yeah.
No, being allergic, that's fair enough. But
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I think we as just like as humans, there is too much choice.
Yeah.
There is too much choice. And
But that breeds that more and more.
of course, because you can always have like we're always looking for that alternative. I really want fried chicken. Where's the healthiest fried chicken I can have?
Just
You can't have fried chicken. You can't.
Well, but not even the cornflakes. I see.
Yeah, literally. I made it in the air fryer.
I did it with cornflakes.
And I made my own ranch sauce, or whatever. It's like,
I'm not a big fan of those hacks and stuff like that because I just feel like if you're gonna eat it, just eat the real thing. Either don't eat it or eat the real thing.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Because I'm when I'm dieting, I'm really bad for like not things like that as such, but like for sweet stuff, I'm like
Oh no, of course.
I'll take anything.
But I'm thinking,
that's
you know
like,
when people try to, people make protein pancakes, right? Just eat them.
well, they taste terrible anyway.
Disgusting.
They're not nice. People do try to force it, and but it's like vegans, right? Where it's like, I'm gonna have a fake chicken sandwich. Why do you need to call it chicken? It's not chicken. Call it fake, whatever it is. Why do you need to? Because in your head you need to try and tell yourself that it is chicken, or it's like.
No, but I think a lot of people do it obviously for not religious reasons, but for like animal cruelty and stuff like that, right? So
But why do you need to call it a vegan
then
chicken?
Because then they're converts, right? Vegan converts, and they're like, I need. It's like it's basically the name is just to describe what you can taste, what you relate it to. Right?
Yeah, in your head you want it to be that.
Yeah.
But it's not though. It's whatever shit, is whatever crap or whatever it is that's in that burger. So call it by its name. I'm having a fake chicken mushroom burger. You're having a mushroom burger. Okay. Nothing chicken about it. Just because you fried it in some breadcrumbs or whatever, it's a mushroom burger. Call it mushroom.
Guys, we're joined today by Eddie Abu.
Oh, dear. No, but you know what I mean, though. You don't need to always try and, like you said, fancy up, justify it.
Yeah.
If you're having chicken and rice, it doesn't need to be something fancy.
Yeah.
Don't try. We're always looking for something to try and, in our head, call it what it's not.
Yeah.
It's like, I struggle with that. Like I said, when it comes to like dieting and eating oats, I can't eat it.
Yeah.
So I have to put chocolate, fruit, flavors drops in it to enjoy it.
But there's not oats now.
No, it's more than those.
Yeah,
That becomes like artificial crap.
I can't. I don't know. Do many people eat oats on its own like that? I don't think so.
I don't know. I think a lot of hardcore people do.
Really? Just eat it like that?
With water.
Who's that? What's that story? The bears. You know, the kid's story.
Oh, Goldilocks.
Yeah,
the
Goldilocks.
three bears.
Yeah. Did she just ate that plain oats, innit?
Yeah, but that was all based on heat, wasn't it? Too hot, too cold, just right.
Yeah.
Mine just right.
But that was straight porridge, innit? No. But she didn't say protein powder. You know, no chocolate oats. I see all the pictures.
75% lint. Blueberries.
Somebody ate my protein oats.
Someone ate my anabolic protein oats.
I suppose it wasn't for Goldilocks. It was for the bears, isn't it?
Yeah, they're bulking.
Yeah, so they ain't eating no protein powder.
We might have honey or something.
Honey, maybe cinnamon honey, something like that. You know what I mean?
Don't know.
Anyway, what do you think are the risks then of eating too little calories?
Well, the risks. Well,
Yeah.
we've lived it. We know the risks.
What's the risk? The listeners don't know the risk, man. They're not
Low testosterone. You feel like absolute shit. You can't function properly. You're constipated. You might faint and bang your head if you hit a flex.
slow metabolism.
So, no pump in the gym. Like it's a lot. A lot of people do. When people say, "Yeah, I don't really eat a lot," it's like, do you really know what not eating a lot feels like? Because if you've ever been there, you know it's not something that you can sustain.
We know really.
Who, me and you?
Yeah, well, you know it for a small period of time.
A small period of time.
Imagine living like that. Like we're talking third world countries, right? They're like that all the time.
But does your body then adapt though over time? So you don't know any different. If all you know is 1,000 calories.
I think it's not necessarily your body adapts. It's more so you don't have a choice.
Well, you don't. Yeah, but you don't know. You don't know what plus 1,000 calories feels like.
Maybe So you don't.
So you just know like.
You know. Think so?
I don't know. When you're dieting,
that's a mad one, isn't it?
When you're dieting, your body does adapt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
but
especially
it's always a comparison.
Yeah, but especially in the middle part, so you get used to that feeling.
But it's always a comparison, isn't it? Like hunger is a comparison. It's like if you haven't eaten 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, you don't know what hunger really feels like, right?
Well, everything's a comparison.
That's mad. So so you're thinking that people in third world countries don't actually know that they're hungry.
but if you have that feeling of hunger all the time, you just assume it's
that's
like if you have a
normal.
headache. If you have a headache for ages, you just become numb to it, right?
Yeah, it's only until you feel better then you realize.
Yeah, so you feel better when you're like, oh, actually, what the hell? My head has been banging this whole time. So if you're just if you're in a constant state of hunger, you just become immune to it. It's like pain. It's like chronic pain. Acute pain, you feel it and you're like, oh, that hurts. Chronic pain, people live with chronic pain for years. Just get used to it. Like, I've had over the last, I'm not saying this is chronic, but the last 3 weeks, my back's been killing me like every day. But to the point now where you only start thinking about it when you're trying to do something
extra, more acute,
yeah,
right?
when you're trying to do something and you're like, oh, bloody hell, that hurts. But you're in pain all the time.
Yeah.
So then you just become used to living with that pain. It doesn't mean that's right. I'm not trying to compare my 3 week back pain
to
compared to like, or people that have back pain for like long periods of time. But there are people. It's like you hear football players talk about all the time. When was the last time they played a match at 100%? They're always in some sort of pain or injury. They numb it. They get on with it. So you just become kind of immune to that. So if you're hungry, I think that middle part of any diet, you get used to being on that kind of low food, high output. It's tough, but it's not unmanageable. It's when you then drop again where you're like, oh, damn.
Do you think that's why it's difficult for people who are used to like living a whole life of being overweight and then trying to diet versus someone who is naturally skinny? Because they don't have anything to... Well, they're used to eating 5,000 calories, right, a day. And then to go down to 2,000 or 1,800 is drastically different.
It's how you respond to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're going to get a signal saying you're hungry.
Yeah, versus the skinny guys.
Yeah. They might not get it.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite for them, isn't it? Where it's like they're not used to eating that amount of food. So you're telling your client who's used to eating 2,000 calories, right, we're going to need to up this to 3.5 because you're going to need to do some serious gaining. They can't physically eat that much.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that is you. But, so...
Over time, I've had to practice that, right?
Yeah, both ends of the spectrum, isn't it? But for people, when you get a signal saying you're hungry, how you respond to that is up to you, isn't it, at the end of the day? You can choose to accept that signal and be like, yeah, I am hungry, I need to eat something. Or it's like, it's there, feel hungry. Maybe I'll eat something just to suppress it a little bit, but I'm not going to go and eat in excess.
Yeah, those symptoms are mad though. Like but imagine that constantly being cold and whatever. All those symptoms.
But your body will adapt though because you get used to it, isn't it?
You still are cold, but then
you are cold, but
you adapt to the feeling of it, right?
Yeah.
And the ability to maintain it, I guess, versus what it actually is.
But the same with heat though as well. We're always hot.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is like when you're heavier and then the summer comes. That first week is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Then you're like,
no, it's okay.
Oh yeah, it's not too bad actually. It's hot, but I'm gonna sweat walking upstairs. I'm just used to it now.
I think the reality, and there's a lot of misconceptions as well with it, right? So a lot of people think that if you, like what I was saying was, when you are overweight, I think this is a question that you don't necessarily need to worry about.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about being too low on calories. You should be worrying about not being too high on your calories. And I think a lot of people focus on the wrong thing before they start like, how low, I shouldn't be going too low on my calories. But really, what they should be worrying about is not being too high on their calories. Yeah. And a lot of times the reality is that, you know, we talk about these symptoms and they're very real symptoms when you are doing it. But when you eat too little calories, you look like you eat too little calories, right?
Yeah, for sure. You
So
feel like it.
Yeah. So when people say, oh, you know, I get metabolic damage or whatever, you know, from not eating enough calories, that is something that does happen, but not metabolic damage. It's called metabolic adaptation, where you basically get lazier, right?
Yeah.
So your body adapts to it. So let's say right now when we talk, I'm full of food. I move around. I'm blinking a lot, right? Things like this drop down, And that's that's adaptation. You sit more, you lean more, you don't walk as much, you don't move as much, maybe you don't talk as much. Your organs don't do its thing. You don't heat your body up as much. So then those calories that usually you use to burn and to do those things, you would drop those processes, right? And that's the metabolic adaptation, or what people like to call damage. But you start to eat more and those things change, right? But I think you don't need to necessarily think about those things slowing down, because most of the time it takes a long time to get to that position.
Probably got a lot of fat stored on you as well to
you
prolong that process. So you might diet for 5 months, but you're not going to get to that point because you have so much body fat to use up.
Yeah, but that's one thing that people are really worried about, like a symptom of being too low on their calories. They're like, I shouldn't be doing this many calories because my metabolism is going to drop down.
But I think some people as well, though, there's a group of people that when they're like, I need to lose, they go too low.
But then
to the point where you can't sustain it.
But then metabolism isn't going to drop.
No.
Like, let's say you're 100 kilos and you're like 5'5", right? You can afford to go pretty low on your calories before that metabolism even gets to that point.
Yeah, it's just about whether they can get to that point.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take a couple...
Because it's going to come down to your body fat percentage as well. So yes, there will be a point of which that happens when you are low in body fat. But until you even get even close to that range, I think these things you don't even need to consider these, extreme outcomes of low calorie dieting or low body fat. We should say more low body fat than low calories, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of these symptoms are not necessarily symptoms of low calories; they're symptoms of low body fat.
Low body fat, yeah.
Yeah. And then what I would say would be the reality of, are you actually eating 1,200 calories, right? So the thing of, on paper, people are like, you shouldn't go too low on the calories, you shouldn't eat below 1,200, you shouldn't eat below 1,600. But what is the actual reality, And we spoke about before in other podcasts is guesstimations, labeling being off, not tracking properly. And even today we were talking about most people eat more than what they think that they're eating.
For sure. More people overeat than undereat.
Exactly. So when people are so concerned of their calories being too low, but in reality, your calories aren't too low because, you are eating more food than what you think that you are, right?
But obviously drinking your calories and like adding those sauces is not going to fill you up. It's just, that's more of a taste thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, that everyone always goes for that, they look at, am I too low in calories? And everyone Googles it, right? You get that Google cancer where you Google something. And
Google cancer.
It's Google cancer where when you get injury or anything, you Google it and it always comes down, you might have cancer.
Yeah, I've just won the lottery, what should I do? You probably have cancer.
Yeah. It's like, it always turns into that, right? I call it Google cancer. I think
that's a good one, I like that.
Everyone always thinks like that, and they go, am I too low in calories? And then it'll come up like, when you get too low in calories, this is what's going to happen. These are the symptoms. And you're like, shit, I don't want those. But it's like, they're the symptoms when you are there.
Yeah, when you're there, yeah.
Yeah. But
when you actually have cancer and you can't.
When you are crazy, like lean, that happens. But until you get to that point, probably isn't going to happen, and you probably don't need to worry about it. But then people let's say you don't have food for a day and you're like, oh shit, I've got that symptom of dizziness. I've got those symptoms of hunger. I think my calories are too low. It was like, well, if you go to McDonald's and just eat crap and you're still eating 2,000 calories, of course you are going to feel hungry, right? Because you've not eaten no vegetables. You're not eating actually any density to your meals, right? Or people are like, I'm dizzy. You was like, but how much caffeine have you taken?
Yeah.
How much sleep have you actually had? Like how much water have you drunk? So these symptoms are, you're thinking are that you're too low in calories, but they're happening because of other things.
Just those quick, easy fixes, aren't they?
Yeah, people quickly to turn to the fact that, my calories are too low, and this is the reason as to why I'm feeling this way. But it's like, but there's other reasons why you could also be feeling that way. And that kind of stops them from having. I think for most people, like if you're overweight, 9 out of 10 people, you're not too low on calories.
No way. Have you ever been in that state where you've been so low that you've started feeling these adaptations?
Coldness, definitely. I never felt that dizziness. When people say when you prep, You stand up, you're like, whoa, lightheaded. I've never had that, so maybe I've not gone hard enough yet. What other symptoms I have? Obviously, yeah, I've not had the hair loss. I've not had menstrual cycle irregularities.
I think that's pretty common though for females, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do tend to get that.
Especially ones that compete. Definitely, that's going to be something that you're going to experience.
Yeah, even athletes, it's very common. Do they call it reds? They call it reds?
I don't know what they call it, but there will be some. There's some like Olympic athletes that will stop their menstrual.
I think a lot.
Yeah,
because
stop it.
It's not just the calories; they could be eating quite a lot.
Yeah,
but it's the stress that their body is under in terms of competing, recovery, activity, over exercising.
That's why some women just take birth control just to stop that from happening, to stop that kind of process.
I think it's to give them that fake bleed, right, or whatever, so they still have some sort of menstrual cycle. You know, consistency.
No, but some will take birth control to stop them. You know, like we take the pill
all the time.
Yeah, so if you take the
no
pill,
resting.
Yeah, so if you take the pill, you're meant to come off it. But there are some women athletes and stuff that will just take that just to stop that process from happening. Because you know, it's like when your missus or whatever, or when women do have that menstrual cycle, obviously that week they feel completely different, isn't it? So if you're on top,
Would it stop it though? Would it stop? All
it stops it. If you take the pill, birth control, it just stops that process.
Even all the other sensations that come with it.
Stops the process.
Yeah, that's something I didn't know.
Because
if you're female, you have to let us know if this is actually true. Because this is coming from Archie.
From my experience of women on the pill.
Right. So this is what they tell you, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But then women will take it to stop that process. So then, because imagine this, imagine if and you work with female clients, so you might have experiences having a great 2-3 weeks, weight loss, whatever, fat loss, training's going good. Then they come on to menstrual cycle, weight balloons up, training drops off because of obviously what's happening within the body. So there will always be, like, especially one of my female clients, the week, it's normally worse the week before. So if you see, like, all of a sudden it's gained like 3-4 kilos.
Yeah, what's going on?
You're like, what the hell is happening? It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Time of the month, menstrual cycle, water, stress.
That's why I always like to compare body weights of females like month to month versus week to week, because it just changes throughout the whole
Yeah, I
thing,
think
right?
definitely for women it's easier for them to go up.
Women go through it, man. I tell you.
Do you know, being a woman is tough, especially like
it's hard, isn't it?
they can't eat as much.
Yeah.
They have to give birth. They have menstrual cycles.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I always was one of those guys before seeing my wife give birth. I was like, I'd like to give it a go. You know, I was always like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. After you see it, I'll tell you what, that changed my mind. I was like, I'm not sure about this. You know?
Yeah.
This looks quite hard. Yeah. And being there live, you're like, she's fucking solid.
Yeah.
She can take a lot of pain, but you look at me and you're like, that looks. Is it that? Because you're like, is it that painful? Because it fucking must be. I tell you what, the sounds that women make when they're in labour, it's different. It's different.
Yeah,
when you get there, you're gonna know.
We'll do a podcast on it afterwards.
Yeah, it's different. You're just like, shit, man. I've never seen my wife be in this much pain.
Yeah, but can she eat 900 calories for a prolonged period of time? Don't know.
I think she probably could.
Yeah, probably.
You know, I wouldn't put it past her. If she can.
But
give
then,
birth, she can do anything.
so you talk about how much like stress and to go through like kind of like, so imagine going through like childbirth, or whatever, and then you got people complaining that their calories are too low.
Oh shit. So
when you put like, is perspective something that's like, so I always look at it as when I'm dieting, it's always a thing of as well where it's like, number one, this is a choice, so don't complain, because if you want to go and eat and feel better, you can. So that's your choice. Second thing is there's people that don't have an option. So there's some people, like you said before, about starving in third world countries, or whatever. They don't have a choice. That's all they know.
Yeah.
So you don't have the right to complain and say, oh.
People still do though, innit?
Of course, but people do it when they're on 5 times a coke. Oh, I feel so tired. Yeah. Or the worst one.
We all
the worst one. Oh, I've eaten too much. Yeah. What do you mean you've eaten too much?
That's why people do that thing where it's like, what are you grateful for every day, right? Because it brings you back down to earth.
Yeah, you have to come back to reality.
Yeah, because you're like,
calories is a good way to come back down to reality.
I'm talking about this shit, but then I'm looking at other people going, shit, man, they're lucky to eat this food.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I say that sometimes, like, to the kids. It's like, there's countries where, like, you're moaning about going outside in a little bit of rain on the field. Yeah. There's kids literally in, like, going to war
Yeah.
And I always say to him, I said, if we go to war tomorrow, I said, that's it, we're done for.
We're done, aren't
yeah,
we?
we're done.
We are
finished.
so
We're
done.
going to lose.
I'll be the first one to be done as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going to war.
Fucking, I trained legs yesterday. I
Yeah.
ain't nothing still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, got DOMs. How many calories do you get in the army?
I don't know.
Because I need.
But they got their army packs, didn't they?
Yeah, but
you know, like how the space guys get space packs.
I need a lot of packs.
Nah, but they're denser in calories.
Bro, it doesn't matter. I need more packs. Yeah. I'm gonna need more packs.
Pretty solid.
Than the
We should
person.
get that to bulk. I should eat those things.
Yeah, just like drink it.
Yeah, not bad, eh?
Yeah, we'd be screwed.
Yeah, we're definitely thinking about the wrong things, man. What's the lowest calories that you've been on?
900.
Is that when we did
900 for 900 for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's it. Solid.
But I don't know if it's the calories that's the hard part, or is it the output that you're doing? Because at the time it was.
Well, it's combined, right?
Yeah, but could I? If you said to me now, right, do 900 calories 2 weeks.
Oh, it's different because you're not lean now.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's
what I mean. Yeah. So doing it from where we were, that was. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
There was days where it was just like.
But then you thought about people actually dying, and then that's
exactly. Then you're like, yeah. But you have to. But it will cross your mind because you're like, shit. 900. Like, I feel.
So you took a little visit to like the hospital. And be
it's
like,
4 o'clock.
You start dying. Nah, I'm good, bro.
But it's 4 o'clock, and you're like, I've only eaten 600 calories today. I've trained. I've done 2 hours of cardio. I've done 15,000 steps. I've got one more egg white omelette to eat. I don't know if I can do this. But then you're sat in your bed watching Netflix, like, come on, man.
Shredded.
Yeah, shredded, puffing on a vape. It's not a bad place to be, is it, really?
I can do this.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do this with my flavoured vape. Giving it some of that. But yeah, but it's always going to be, that's how I tend to, like, get through things. It's not...
Yeah. Reality.
And you're talking about things that you can control. If you can't control it, then it's...
But I think that's the thing, right? There's a lot of, maybe a lot of clients, they think, this isn't my choice.
Yeah, my coach just told me to.
Yeah, my coach just told me.
But it's your choice to have the coach, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, then you'd be like, no,
I want a coach that gives me higher calories.
Yeah, I want to go and give a coach that's going to give me more calories. But that's what you said, it comes down to collaborative. Would you rather have lower food, higher output? Like, what's going to work best for you? I don't like just telling my client, like you kind of said, oh yeah, we're going to decrease your food, because actually they might already be struggling on that food. So then you're going to take more away from them. They're less likely then to like kind of mess up. It's like, well, do you think you could do maybe 2,000 extra steps a day? Maybe do another cardio session a week? What's going to work best for you, sort of thing? Because there are some people that can do. Some people, like for me, I know I want to keep my food high as possible. I'd rather do a lot more than have like sort of lower food.
I think a lot of people are similar, right?
Especially if you can.
Yeah.
Even
if you can't, you try to you figure out a way, right?
Yeah,
to make sure that you can. Otherwise, it becomes really dreadful. But yeah, it's definitely difficult, man, for sure.
What's your lowest?
I think the lowest I ever did was like 1,300 calories. That was 2019. But I was doing a lot of cardio. I was doing a lot of output. I don't think I've ever tried to push below like I don't know what 1,900 calories feels like. But 900 calories feels like. But yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, even then, I didn't do 1,300 calories for long. I had refeeds. You know, it wasn't like I did it for like 10 days on the trot. You know, but it was rough, man. I definitely wouldn't.
I'm jealous of people that can get shredded on what is perceived as high food. Obviously, for them,
every time I diet, I'm thinking about that.
For them, obviously, it might not feel like high food. When you're looking at like people like 2 weeks out eating 2,500 calories, you're like,
I could do that.
That must be nice.
So easy. I was just thinking that's so easy to diet like that.
Yeah, but I get too fat, so I can't do that.
I start my diets straight away when I start dieting. I already like have envy of people because I know like these cunts eat fucking 2,500 calories at the end of their diet. But this is what I'm starting on.
Yeah, but that's where that comparison. That's why it's so you just can't.
Yeah, you can't.
You just can't because everyone's just so different and unique.
It's so interesting though how some people can finish their diets on that level.
Yeah, it's mad.
But you think about it. I always think on the other side of if we did go to war, whatever, right? These people, they're dying first because their body's eating themselves. Because you know when you're dieting and you need 2,500 calories to sustain your body, that means your body is not adapting to that. So you're.
So if there was a zombie like apocalypse,
you lot are dead.
You lot are dead first
because my body's going to slow down.
Yeah.
To adapt to that, so then I only need like 1,300, 1,500 calories to survive, but you need 2,500. You're fucked.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, I can eat one meal, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But you're not dying.
So
when I'm ready, when it comes, man, that's when I'll be like.
I would struggle.
You think? Yeah.
I don't know. I know I
start
can
eating
do
zombies.
it. Yeah. No, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm quite good at just flicking from
Yeah.
eating whatever the hell I want to right. Now you're being restricted. I can do that.
There's gonna be some. I'm surprised that these zombie films. There's not more people stealing food.
Food.
Yeah, like how everyone's like tries to live in a shelter, right, or whatever, and they're like, oh, we're gonna live in this little community.
Yeah.
How are people not eating more than what they need to? Because obviously it's ration, right? Because there's an amount of food. How are people not eating more? There's not more. Yeah, but there's not more scenes of people stealing food and shit like that.
But you can't. If it's being given to you, what can you do?
No, but you might go rob food or
But it's the same with it's what we're talking about like with children again. Whatever you give them, you dictate what you give them.
Yeah.
So if you have a kid that then ends up overweight, that's because you've given it to them.
But what if he's nicking food? He's going into the pantry and going.
Yeah, well then that's a different.
Chow that.
That's a different argument. That's just like cheating on your diet, isn't it? But then, if you then identified it, like even with a client or something, where it's like, hang on, they're gaining weight. Let me just take away what they're eating in their free meals, and if they're still stealing food or snacking, they may probably then still drop weight, even though they're cheating on their diet.
It's mad psychology, isn't it? All right. So, do you think I think this is what a lot of people try to do, is they try to go low because they want to push further in terms of their fat loss. Do you think going low is better for dieting? Is it more sustainable?
Or being on low food?
Yeah. Because some people say, oh, well,
Depends.
if I go low on my calories, I can get the job done quicker. It's aggressive dieting. And then I can get out of my diet as fast as possible, right?
Or like a mini cut?
Kind of mini cut, but like, let's say you're 100 kilos, you need to get down to 80 kilos. Let me do that as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And then I'm done. Then I can...
Well, I think that just depends on the person.
Yeah.
Because if you'll go straight away low and then after a week, like, I can't do this, then you're like having your own refeeds or just cheating on your diet and you can't do it. It's going to then take the process longer, isn't it?
Yeah. Versus someone who was just do it slowly.
Whereas like, I think if you're someone that can do it and then you just said, right, in like, say for example, in 2 months we're going to lose 20 kilos. Okay, yeah, fine. And you just do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's my plan. When this baby comes,
What are you going to do?
12 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Baby cut.
Baby, dad bod shred.
I think that's pretty easy.
But that's what I mean.
Because you don't eat anyway.
But I think, but I think it'll be easier for me because I'll just be like, I'm only doing it for this period of time.
Trust me, I lost 4 kilos in like 4 or 5 weeks, something like that, when I first had the baby.
I need to get to 108.
Because we didn't have time you don't have time to eat.
This is what I mean. This is my thinking.
You're just stressed because you're like, I need to keep this thing alive.
Yeah. But that's my thinking. So if I can lose 12 kilos in 12 weeks, with a newborn baby,
maybe.
happy days. If I can go from 120 to like 108, happy days.
Yeah, that's mad.
Baby shred.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it comes down to, like you said, personal preference, right? It's not necessarily that.
No, it's not one size fits all.
Low or high is going to be, or low calories or slower is going to be more sustainable. I think it comes down to what is more suitable for you as an individual, right? If you feel like, I like to diet people how they would live their life.
Okay.
So, and this is more for Gen Pop, right? Is if they feel like, because if you do something aggressive, they may not necessarily know how to like deal with that afterwards.
Yeah, I think there's more likely if you do it aggressively, there's more likely to be a rebound afterwards.
Versus
but then saying that though, I dieted for 54 weeks on a massive rebound, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, it's different mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, different mindset.
It comes down to like the body fat percentage that you come down to as well. So, there's tons of stuff to go there. All right, so we hope you found this discussion interesting. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to leave a review on iTunes and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you need help managing your calories and your fat loss goals, you can find me on Instagram @gymwithhim, and my co-host is @Archie13 with 2 E's. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.